Hey, tonight I'm gonna be talking about tendinitis. Dr. Artis again, welcome back. Hey, tonight I'm gonna be talking about tendinitis. Tendinitis, you haven't exercised in a while, you tried a new exercise, all of a sudden you get into it and you start going and you go a little crazy with it. All of a sudden, those tendons, they start to hurt. The joint starts to hurt or wherever that tendon is connected. We're talking about tendinitis. Tendinitis is just simple overuse of a certain activity or overuse of tendons, and they get inflamed and they cause pain. A lot of times, some people mistake it for arthritis, depending on where it's at. A lot of times I see tendinitis, I can see it in the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. You can see it in the hips, the knees, the ankles. The biggest one is the Achilles tendon, which we rupture. What happens is people over the age of 30 start to exercise and they haven't exercised in a while, because I've been seeing a lot of people doing that lately, and all of a sudden they overdo it. See, when we get older, the tendons, they lose that elasticity and they start to stiffen up and tighten up. That's why I really stress the importance of warming up properly before you start exercising. So anytime you start exercising, you need to warm up the muscles, just like you just can't go cold turkey into something. And I always say, my good analogy, I always use my famous analogy in the art, is that we're like a car. You got an older model car. If you were born in the 1950s, if you were born in the 1960s, hell, if you were born in the 1970s, you need to warm that engine up. You just can't get in that car and start driving it. It's the same thing with our bodies. You have to increase the blood supply or the blood flow to the muscles and the tendons to actually loosen them up so we can prepare for the activity that we're doing. You just don't jump out and run a 5K or jump out and do this. You have to warm up properly first. And once you do that, you can prevent or you can slow down the progression or the development of tendinitis. Also, with warming up, you also need to cool down properly. You need to make sure that you stretch those muscles that you've been using during the activity out. That's why stretching is so important. Another thing that you could do besides warming up and cooling down properly is also making sure you drink the amount of water. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about before I jump into another subject or before I close is also, whenever you're doing these activities, you want to make sure you're drinking lots of water. So what do you do if you do have tendinitis? When you do have tendinitis, one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you use my famous analogy called rice. That means you want to rest that joint, you want to ice it, you want to compress it, and you want to elevate it if possible. And so what I mean by that is you got to let those tendons calm down and get the inflammation off of it. One of the things that can cause it too is not having the right alignment, to where you're putting more pressure on one side of the tendon or one side of the body. The other side can cause a little bit more tendinitis. So just simply overusing it, just constantly motion and different things like that. If you need more information about that, contact me, DM me, like and share. Again, we're talking about tendinitis and one of the things you could do to get rid of it and try to slow it down. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.